One World Religion, number 17, I think. Now, all of you in the New Age, light-working, Save the World movement should be well aware that things aren't going right. If you look online, you've got loads of so-called gurus or avatars or light workers or light warriors or grid keepers, or as in Korea, the new Messiah who gave Korea coronavirus, or the Moonies, or Scientology, or born-again Christians with Bieber and Selena Gomez, whole host of them, all the white magicians, the White Brotherhood, the Rosicrucians, all of them saving the world with their magic and their paranormal powers. Now, some of you might have read the Bible, where Christ talks about, by their works shall ye know them. Now look around you in your self-isolated apartment or mansion if you're rich, or super yacht if you're Bill Gates and the rest of the poor people below the Rothschilds in their estates and the royal family in their estates and the Rockefellers. And look around you and go, oh, these light workers, white magicians have been saving the world for me, and things have got better. I'm living in paradise now. The world has never ever been better because of their power, their magic, their channeling of divine spirit. Things are absolutely cock-a-hoop in Cloud Cuckoo Land. So, one can say with absolute certainty that all light workers, all light warriors, avatars, the Rosicrucians, the Catholic Church, born-again Christians, the Moonies, Scientologists, and the rest of these so-called ascended spirits are all liars, because the world hasn't got better. I don't know if you believe me, because according to numerous Jewish trolls, I'm a scam artist. But you might have wondered, for the rest of you, why is he going on about him being a black magician and wanting to be Lord of the Rings? And talking about Kalki, where Kalki comes where the whole world is evil and then tortures the fuck out of the entire civilization, burns it down because they're all evil, worshipping from another. Theology, mammon, and the worship of money. Why is it that two of India's most famous actors have just kicked the bucket in the past week? Because remember, Kalki comes from Hinduism. Could it be that Tony Stark Rifat actually has a handle on reality and everyone else is a scam artist? Because nothing is going the way they said it would go. Everything is going the way I said it would go. Which leads us on to the meat of this video. Directed, presented, written, produced by Mike Yadabo, who's standing behind the camera with his skinhead haircut, supporting the Aryan nation. I, of course, being a love and light person, if you believe that, you believe anything, wanted to rub in that everyone else is wrong, only I'm right. Why am I right? Because of precognitive remote viewing, the ability to see the future. Here we're going to start into the nature of time. Blame that on smoking, except I haven't been smoking. Too many scooters, I think, around Vietnam. Anyway, continuing. The shamans, if you read the excellent books of Carlos Castaneda, all, according to Wikipedia, charlatanism. You'll see that shamans could perceive time, and they saw time as a wheel, as in Buddhism. And time flow, as they perceived it with their second sight, was anti-clockwise. Now, Russian psychic warfare research, which used Kozyrev, if you want to get a good handle on Russian psychic warfare research as released to the West, you can simply purchase our MP3s on psychic warfare research done by the Russians, which will be available online. They used to be free, now you've got to pay for them. If you can't get them when they're free, you've got to pay. Contact Mike if you want to upload them. Now, Kozyrev described time density, where time density was lost by cause and gained by effect. And it wasn't mind over matter, actually matter lost time density and matter gained time density to cause event paths, cause and effect. Now, shamans looked at time and it moved around in a anti-clockwise direction, which according to Kozyrev produced anti-gravity. So if you think of time density, when you look at time as a shaman, it's going around in an anti-clockwise direction, giving off time density and producing effect in matter by accumulation of time density. It's a big frog. Need more viaduct. Now, Don Juan talked about men of power, seers, being able to reverse their direction in the time flow. So instead of seeing time as it flashed past them, so it appeared anti-clockwise, they could look into time, so time was facing them. This then meant that the time stream rotated clockwise. And according to Kozyrev, Russian scientist who developed the concept of time density and much, much more, you can look him up on the internet. If you want to read the details about time density, look him up. If you want to see my evaluation on his work, get some downloadable MP3s. Now, if you're looking at time, it's flowing clockwise. According to Kozyrev, clockwise direction produces gravity. Gravity sucks things in, time density has been sucked in. Which means that a seer, a precognitive remote viewer like myself, sees not cause. Remember, time density is collected for effect. Gravity, whoosh, sees effect. Isn't this useful? Because then, instead of looking at the cause, you look at the effect. Before the cause. Which means that if you read my Total War service, an absolute work of art typed out by St. Nicholas a couple of years ago, you'll see I talked about the complete collapse of money energy being sucked out, all because the Chaos Avatar's vessel, which we've now discovered was made by the Knights Templar using Baphomic technology, killing Max Spears to make an artificial Nagwal with the Death Goat Jude Bloom, ran aground by having a baby with a 3-lode Nagwal. If you read the Eagle's Gift, 3-lode Nagwals destroy timelines. Castaneda was a 3-lode Nagwal and ended the Warriors of Total Freedom, whose only purpose was to escape the hellish, chaotic matrix. Prior to them, we had the old seers who were going into the interdimensional worlds and waking up there to prolong their lifespans, the Death Defiers, all described in the Fire from Within. Now, being able to see the future before the past means that the past, the cause, is changed. The cause becomes mutable. Instead of being ineluctable, it becomes mutable. So that by perceiving the cause you want, you can change the past so that, looking at the future and looking at the effect you want, you change the past to produce the cause, to produce the effect prior to the cause happening. This means in the wheel of time you've got a multiplicity of effects, a multiplicity of futures. Zion taking over the world, yours truly being tortured to death by the British with their microwave and flesh-eating bacteria, dying of sepsis, getting all of his money stolen by the tax system, all the old crap. But remember, all of my enemies are looking at the wheel of time as it passes them. They're looking at the cause. They're trying to cause the effect, which is me getting totally fucked up. But someone of my inestimable power can simply turn around, look as time, choose, whichever effect you want, I'll have that effect. Then the cause has to change to produce that effect. Which is, I haven't died of flesh-eating bacteria from poisoned food in British supermarkets poisoned by MI5. Haven't had my limbs amputated by sepsis. Haven't been killed by being infected by MI5 with coronavirus. And. In fact, the future for Zion is the Total War Service, which was written, produced, directed by yours truly a couple of years ago in Vietnam. The place where Zion had its arse kicked and the earth energy of Zion, which wanted to take over the world, was ripped and could then be destroyed using the earth energy of Vietnam. So as you can see, being able to perceive time as it comes to you rather than as it goes past you is vital to any seer. And in every religion we have this concept because they're called prophets. Prophets are humans who have been able to change their orientation of the time stream and can see time as it comes to them rather than time as it receives from them. Now for you, since yours truly is a black magician, and as you well know, white magicians, light workers, avatars, and all the other so-called spiritual people have proven to be complete charlatans, frauds, scumbags, because the world you live in is not a world produced by white magicians. Oh my goodness, no. Look at the news. Most of it fake, apart from Fox News that supports good old Donald Trump. Look at the news and you'll see the world isn't manifest by white magicians or God from the Catholic Church with all its child molestation. No, we're in a completely different scenario. The only one who talked about the scenario, yours truly. You might have wondered, he's producing a one-world religion, but he says he's a black magician. He says he wants to be Lord of the Rings. Oh my goodness, this is upsetting. No, look at the facts. Jesus, by their works shall ye know them. Look at the works of light warriors, grid keepers, Rosicrucians, Catholic priests, and all the other benevolent superhumans like the wanker in Korea that infected Korea with coronavirus with his cult. He's supposed to be Christ. Duh, no. look at the world you're in. The world you're in is a world where you're getting your asses kicked because you're evil. You worship mammon. You'd sell your granny for a few extra dollars. You say, oh no, I'm a good person, but if there's money in it, I'll do anything to get money. Money, 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 give me money, give me money, money. So you wonder why all the money's drained away and you're living in your self-isolation. And that's before all the geophysical nightmares that come your way. Cumbre Vieja, Yellowstone, San Andreas, Oregon Rift, asteroids, solar flares. Read the Total War Service, you want to know what's coming. The only religion, that described this scenario was Hinduism. Kalki. When the world becomes totally evil, which it's become, we call total evil Zion. Kalki, who's the source, Vishnu, comes down as the 10th avatar. Kalki. And Kalki hasn't come to do you any good. Kalki is the source's terminator. He comes to torture the fuck out of you, kill you, torture you for all eternity. That is Kalki. And we've got your two Hindu Bollywood stars dying within the last week to be the Wicker Men, because we're piggybacking on Kabbalism and the Good Shepherd ritual. What's Kalki's plan? Easy. Total War Service. Read it. It's on psychicwarfare.com. It's what's coming for you. It might not be tomorrow, but this century is the Total War Service. Now, Kalki is the 10th avatar of Vishnu. Vishnu is the Hindu version of the source. I need a princess to kiss me, Garrett the Frog. Now, let's look at 10th. Now, all of you who are my customers have been predicated on crystals, when in fact the more important aspects of the services by far are certificates. Why? Go back to Kozyrev and time density. Wood was 5 times better than anything else at holding time density, the energy of time flow. And I would recommend you look up Kozyrev on Google to read up on time density. So the certificates in themselves are very important to the services because they hold time density. The crystals have positive and negative torsion fields, and because of the piezoelectric effect, link you up to the 5th dimension eventually. But let's talk about yours truly, who's been jailed illegally by the British 5 times, stuck in a mental home because they wanted to get rid of me forever by the British government, had his flat destroyed, the EU went after his money, Bank of Cyprus, flesh-eating bacteria, on and on and on. So, do you think allowing your enemy, the British, Zion, to be able to steal your crystals to make you powerless so they could torture you to death, eat your organs like they did Lady Diana or Kennedy, to take your power? Remember, eating someone's heart from black magic allows them to steal your power. Would that be something that yours truly, sweetness and light, would enable the British scumbags to do? No. So of course it's pretty obvious that the crystals, which I've got in my pocket, you're right, look. Do you want to see what's in my pocket? Come here, little girl. Here we are. Crystals, see? Now what you do is you take pictures of your crystals, all of them. Every single pair of crystals, all your services. Now remember, in the last video we talked about your matricized, because remember, as you go down Feigenbaum period doubling, you're getting further from the source and getting matricized. But chaos is fractal, so it can't get the matrix right if you don't understand the concept. What you should do is watch Zion's matrix films, where the architect, which is the chaos entity, needs Neo, the Nagwal, to work with Trinity, the female Nagwal, to supply the energy to keep the chaotic system from degrading. If you can't do that, build an artificial Nagwal, Bloom and Spears, and try and kill a real Nagwal, yours truly, eat his heart out, or Kennedy, Nagwal, Lady Diana, Nagwal woman, to keep Zion going. Now, with your crystals, you take pictures of them. Remember, before we talked about 3 space being equivalent to I, which is 90 degrees. So a matrix can be thought of as 290 degrees. And when we collapse them, I to the I gives you a real number. So you're getting a real dimension linking to the source. Real number space. A 1, which is the source. Every time you collapse them. Do it 5 times. You get into the 5th dimension, remember, with chaos. 16, 8, 4, 2, 1, 5 stages. Beyond the strange attractor. So that means that your pictures of your crystals can be put 5 of these, 5 of those, put them together, burn them, will link you up to real number space. You'll make your crystals 5-dimensional. Now we're going to bring in the certificates. So you've made 5 of these, 5 of those pictures, put them together, burn them. You've got your certificate now for the crystals. Now I'm going to show you the real power behind the services. Go. So to take your services further, you need to change your orientation with respect to time. So instead of looking at time receding from you, anti-clockwise, you look at it coming towards you, like yours truly. So I know it's coming to the west, the total war service, because that's the effect, and the cause is changed, the past is changed to produce the total war service. The energy to do this comes from chaos, which was inhabiting the bloom, spears, vessel, and gave its energy to the 3-lobed Nagwal Peri, who ended Chaos's line as Castellina ended the warriors of total freedom. So $1,000, your energy body's change in orientation to give you the seeing time as it comes to you, seeing the future. Let's call it the precognitive remote viewing service, $1,000. Now, of course, then you've got your certificate. And you've got your crystals. You've got, remember, we did the 5 of each, burnt them. Clear ones are expanding torsion fields, negative torsion fields. But remember, you can have from your double spiral, the love, you can have an expanding positive clockwise or anti-clockwise. Here you can have a inbuilt clockwise, anti-clockwise, negative torsion field going inwards. So with your certificate, you make 2 copies over the 5 copies of your crystals. This one, remember, is now clockwise. Receiving, giving. Receiving should be cause if you're a normal human, and giving should be effect. But once you reverse, giving is effect. The future, this is the past. Time stream normally comes that way, but you've reversed it. So you're actually changing the past. The past becomes mutable because you control the future, which means you can scroll through timelines. Any effect you want, you simply choose. It's called magic. Magic is a science which is well beyond the primitives, and they call it magic. So with your certificates, which you've got the time density of yours truly, who's done it already, you simply take 2 pictures. The one in the left is producing the clockwise, which, remember, is gravity. But remember, with your spirals, you can have a positive torsion fields that's clockwise or anti-clockwise, the love ram's horn. So we're choosing the love ram's horn that is clockwise, which of course is the one for getting all the good stuff. And here we're choosing the anti-clockwise. Remember, there are two in the ram's horn, which is your energy. You can go anti-clockwise inwards or clockwise inwards. Anti-clockwise inwards is the vampire body. So if you've got a vampire body, vampire service, you are the recipient of a being that changes the past to produce whatever cause you damn well please. So you're beginning to see the magic of vampire services. You've got an anti-clockwise energy body going inwards, not clockwise, anti-clockwise. That's the vampire body. We've gone through this shit before. So as you can see, having a vampire body is far, far more than you could possibly conceive. And simply by burning 5 images of your crystals for every service, with the certificates for every service, you then turn them into a 5-dimensional space where you can actually call them up as archetypes. So the crystals here and here can be called up. Ooh, I got this one. This hand, this one, and that one. Ooh. Remember we talked about it on my numerous videos, Colin Bloy and his archetypes? You only called up one, there should be 2. Which means your services then become something the secret police like MI5 can't steal from you. They stick it in jail or in mental institutions, as they've done to yours truly. Hasn't done the British any good, has it? Is Britain doing very well? Has Boris Johnson done very well? Have the royal family done very well? No. Duh. Why not? I'm too powerful for them. And they can't ever jail me and steal from me my power because it's become embodied in archetypes which yours truly holds. So your actual crystals then become part of you, which is the bone generator services. There we go. Ooh. Ooh, ooh. So your actual hands become the power source. Get the archetypes, call them up, push them in. And you do this 100 times. Oof. So you get your 100th monkey effect, all powered by death. Remember, we've had at least 100 people dying. Remember, the British wanted to kill me when I went back to the UK. We've had more than 100 UK citizens dying from their intent to kill me. Remember, the source doesn't produce any ill intent. It all comes from chaos, but then the source can use that intent to torture chaos with its own intent. Which means then that all of your services become part of you. You don't need to carry around bulky crystals. You can simply input them into you, the old bone generator services. And then you can go beyond the bones, because remember, once you move your assemblage point into the center, you become unmanifest. So you become an energy field with all your services inputted into your energy field, a la Monster the Id. So you can see now why Kalki is the 10th avatar. We've got 5 dimensions, which have 2 times 5. Kabbalah, 10 Sephiroth. And of course, general relativity. 10 tensors. Should be 20, but you can knock it down. 10, good enough. Now that the services have become part of you, because they can't become part of you until the crystals have melded with you. And remember, each crystal is inanimate, has no assemblage point, but as a scalar and time-like dimension, vector, gives you a matrix, so each one contains its own matrix. So what you're doing is condensing matrices, and achieving the one. Remember, hyperinfinity 1, 5. We've talked about the 5. What about the 1? The 1's the source. And they're both hyperinfinite, so the way to the source is through 5. So all of you have got services, madly start photographing your crystals and making them part of you. Once that happens to you, your power levels will go up dramatically. Next, of course, we take it further. Now, what happens to the concept of 3 space, which is I, the concept of minus I, which is the 3 space collapsing, which is minus I, real, which is C space, H space. This is the pathway to our Wheeler-Cauchy engine. We talked about briefly about the Wheeler-Cauchy engine, which is finding a pathway between information and matter, where you could manipulate information to manipulate matter. Matter, remember, time density, cause effect. Information, and remember, there's a movement of information from effect to cause or cause to effect, depending on which direction you're facing. So with a Wheeler-Cauchy engine, you can simply then input into yourself a whole variety of powers which would be impossible without it. Well, let's talk about it. Now, I sent my first book manuscript to Morton Janklow in New York, Jew. He gave it to Robert Jordan, probably another Jew, who did the Wheel of Time books. They laughed. Oh, we made loads of money. This little goyim has been butt-fucked, and we made loads of money. Laugh, laugh, laugh. No. Because remember, everyone who's read the Robert Jordan books has signed the contract to be tortured infinitely and beyond to power me. The same with everyone involved in the Robert Jordan books, Wheel of Time books. Wheel of Time, oh, just by chance. Now, if you read them, you'll see we have side N, side R, male energy, female energy to do magic, and chaos energy, Dark Lord energy. Now, these fucktards were tricked into giving me all the powers of the Wheel of Time books at my disposal, and they burn eternally. Because remember, be you Bezos, or Gates, or the royal family, or the Rockefellers, or the Rothschilds, or the Koch brothers, you're going to be dead soon. You're going to be in my world, tortured eternally in my hell spaces. If you don't know what's coming, then buy downloadable MP3s from Mike, where we describe what's coming to you. Now, that's information. You'd agree. Written page, Wheel of Time, information. Yeah. Information. 2 dimensions. Collapse them. So, you simply go on Amazon.com. You might have heard of it. I know most of you wouldn't have heard of Amazon.com, but a minority might. You just simply take the 14 books of the Wheel of Time, take their covers, print them out, like certificates, have book 1, book 2, up to book 14, with your certificates, easy on computer. Remember, you can have files. Crystals, for whatever service you want to power. Print them out, burn them. Why do we burn them? Turning them into light, 5th dimension. And remember, as I explained, the matrixization by chaos is incomplete because of fractalization and self-similarity of chaos. So, by burning, you can simply link yourself to 5th dimension. You can photograph it. Stick it on your computer, have it a screensaver, and iterate again and again. Give you more and more power. So that means with the Wheeler Course engine, all the powers in the Wheel of Time, and you read through books which give you considerable power and allow you to split the Earth and destroy Yellowstone, Cumbre Vieja, San Andreas, Oregon Rift, and the rest, Total War Service, all came from the readers and the people that profited and wrote, including Brandon whatever, who finished the books off after I killed Jordan, come from them. They're burning souls for all eternity. So with the Wheeler Course engine, upgrade $10,000 for you. If I like you, $20,000, but $10,000 for the Wheeler Course engine. Every single information outlets can be used to provide you with power. So at the start of the Wheel of Time, splitting of the Earth by the super psychic and his 100 followers, and they wreck the planet, which is going to happen to the West. Total War Service. All downloaded into your 2 archetypes, into your bone generators, into you. With the Super Soldier Service, goes into the centre and allows the pathway for the power of the archetypes, bone generators, to come into the centre of you to make you a bodiless being, a super soldier. A super being. Oh, my goodness, this guy's got a plan. They seem to fit together. Yeah, because I understand all the physics. I haven't told you iceberg, I'll tell you a little bit of that. They fit together. Next, of course, Lord of the Rings. J.R.R. Tolkien. Download from Amazon.com. Copy there, copy there. Burn them, Hobbit. to get the power of ring wraiths and Galadriel and eternal life of elves all coming into you, which then becomes you. Once you get super soldier service, you can move your assemblage point into the centre, eye to the eye, and become a bodiless being. Because remember, with a normal human, they look at time as it passes them anti-clockwise. Anti-clockwise is anti-gravity, which is cause. The cause is read the power of silence and fire from within. Rolling force goes in to the energy body, blows it to pieces, eye to the eye, minus eye to the eye. Their emanations merge with strange attractor, get consumed by the eagle. So the only future for humans is death. The only thing that's going to happen to you is you're going to die. What happens after you die? Oh, that's good. We can torture you for all eternity. Oh, isn't that good? Yeah. Click. I like that one. But if you turn your energy body round, you then have clockwise, which is expanding. Gravity. Gravity is vampire body. So the only thing that happens to vampires is that we don't die. We're death defiers. Next, of course, you can take the multiplicity of information, every single book, Harry Potter books, all the magic, all the Harry Potter readers tortured eternally to power you with Harry Potter magic or Voldemort magic. So as you can see, the writer, her only purpose was to supply us with power because we process the information in her books. Remember, you do it for films, Marvel, Disney, whatever, which then gives us the power. So every single mega informational, magical, supernatural, paranormal information can be processed to power us. And the readers, everyone involved, everyone who made money, are tortured for all eternity to provide us with power. Pure calcing. You can see now why the Rothschilds, who said they'd crush me like a flea and my ramblings would have no effect on reality, are the ones screaming, because I've got the power and they're simply my torture toys. You might not like it, but that is the way it is. Now we continue. Naggle men look at the source. That's what we are. We're the only pathway to the source. If you're female, you're fucked. Oh, you can't say that. Yes, I am. I'm a black magician. I said I was going to fuck you over. You're now fucked. All the light workers who said they were going to save you have been proven to be scam artists, liars, deceivers, false prophets. So it doesn't matter what you think about me. Whatever I say is true because it happens. And the real fun is because I say it's going to happen to you, it happens. It's even more fun. So males link up to the source. Females look the other way. Well, So they can project the source outwards as a bubble to enclose the group in the source energy linked into by the male nagwal. So they're not useless. They're pretty useless to the male nagwal who only wants to go to the source, but to the rest of the group, they're absolutely vital. Because there's no way of the source energy linking to the rest of the group, which is all you lot, without the female nagwal. Now I remember back in 86, I sublimed nagwal girl, tore all her energy out, gave it to me. She was therefore not available to give it to the rest of Zion, so the end of Zion happened in 86 or 87. And what's happening now is simply me allowing the rope, giving me enough rope to hang themselves. It's just I wanted to create infinite IOU so I could do anything to them beyond what the source would have done to them. Why? Because I'm a sadist. I fucking love it. But unfortunately, another nagwal woman came along, the compatriot of yours truly, Angelic, light worker, wanting to save the world. She needs a good slapping. But we now have the female nagwal of yours truly, both same age, relatively, both born in the same country. She, of course, broadcasts the source. So as you can see, everyone who wants source energy and wants to be enclosed in this bubble of source energy needs the Angelic service, $1,000. Because I don't want to help you. I'm really quite happy to see you suffer. But being the source, one has to give you the chance. So with Angelic, the source energy is broadcast downwards into a bubble that encloses your works. So it's all well and good you doing getting crystals and winning the Wheeler Porsche engine, $10,000, so you can bleed all the information to power you as reality with all the readers and all the people making money out of it. Matrix films, all of Hollywood, the entire publishing industry, all the rest, all the readers, all the viewers, suffering for you eternally. But in order to link it with the source, remember, you're still in chaos. So, butterfly effect, get all the power, but unintended consequences. Oh, you go mad with the power. Oh, he goes wrong. What's happening here? Oh my goodness. So, in order to get the linkage to the source for you, you need the Angelic service, $1,000. So you get a picture here and here, burn it with the other stuff, with your crystals. Then, of course, your services and your Wheeler Porsche engine and whatever are linked to the source. No unintended consequences. Everything you do then becomes perfect. Let's explain. In physics, when two particles, bosons, leptons, light particles, leptons, particles, are joined, no matter how far apart they are, they're always in communication. Entanglement. Bell's theorem, etc., etc. I won't bore you with all the physics, which I know, and it's my bread and butter. But when this one's changed, even though they're further apart than the speed of light and can't communicate. Now, physicists have come up with the idea of the predestination, where they call it super determination, where everything is determined, which then explains faster than light communication, which can only be explained if the Big Bang was collapsed and everything was pre-programmed. But chaos can't do that, because chaos is incapable of determining every single event perfectly. While the source, of course, can, with no unintended consequences. So that means, therefore, that superdeterminism, the source, the creation of the megaverse, was a source event. But in order to link up with that which the shamans call intent, power, silence, all about intent, you need to link up the source, Nagwal man, but then you need to bring that source, that intent, to the rest of the group. And the only vehicle for producing that to non-Nagwals is the Nagwal woman. So the Angelic Annie service tunes all your services into the source, so there's no unintended consequences, and they all work to your sourcehood.